I am a naive, wide-eyed freshman with a heart full of hope and a mind full of wonder. I've always dreamed of attending Doane University, Crete, where I envisioned myself surrounded by like-minded individuals, brilliant professors, and a campus that feels like a second home. But little did I know, my experience would be a never-ending nightmare. As I stepped onto the campus, I was immediately struck by the abrasive swans in the pond. Those beady eyes, that hiss, it was as if they were warning me to turn back. But I was determined to make the most of my time here. Oh, how I wish I had listened to those swans. The first few days were a blur of excitement and nervousness. But as the weeks went by, the cracks began to show. The financial aid process was a labyrinth of confusion and broken promises. I received a letter stating that my VA benefits would be counted as family contribution, and my Pell Grant was on the chopping block. I fought tooth and nail to keep my grant, but the damage was done. I was left with a $7,000 bill and transcripts held hostage until I paid up. The administration's disdain for its students was palpable, but I thought maybe it's just a minor hiccup. Maybe the rest of my experience would be smooth sailing. Oh, dear reader, how wrong I was. The small class sizes were a farce. Half my classes were online, and the in-person ones felt like a cattle call. Professors seemed to be phoning it in, uninterested in our education or well-being. The curriculum was outdated, and the resources promised were nothing more than a myth. And don't even get me started on the housing. The dorms were ancient, dirty, and in a constant state of disrepair. The raws were as useful as a chocolate teapot, unavailable and unhelpful. It was as if they were more interested in their own social lives than in ensuring our safety and comfort. But I digress. The career services were a joke. No connections, no guidance, no internship opportunities. It was as if they were more interested in padding their own statistics than in helping us succeed. The food, oh the food, was a culinary abomination. Limited options, frequently undercooked or cold, and the cafeteria itself was a petri dish for bacteria. I spent a small fortune on groceries just to avoid the nightmare that was the cafeteria. And then there were the bathrooms. My husband told me that the men's bathroom floor was a biohazard, with urine all over the floor. It was as if the maintenance staff was more interested in policing empty bleachers and chasing away families with dogs than in keeping the facilities clean. Speaking of which, the sporting events were a masterclass in how to suck the joy out of a game. I was told in no uncertain terms that my well-behaved dogs were not welcome. The rules were strict, the staff was rude, and the atmosphere was oppressive. We couldn't wait to leave that toxic environment behind. As I look back on my time at Doane University, Crete, I am left with a sense of profound sadness. It's not just the broken promises, the subpar education, or the toxic atmosphere. It's the fact that I, and so many others, were duped into believing that this institution cared about its students. We were nothing more than cash cows, milked for our tuition and discarded like yesterday's trash. So, dear reader, let this be a warning to you. Doane University, Crete, is an institution that will leave you feeling like a shell of your former self. It's a place where the administration is more interested in lining their own pockets than in serving its students. It's a place where the phrase, student-centric, is nothing more than a punchline. I'll leave you with this, dear reader. When you're considering where to spend your hard-earned dollars, your time, and your sanity, remember Doane University, Crete. Remember the swans, the financial aid nightmares, the subpar education, and the toxic atmosphere. And then run, don't walk in the opposite direction. What's your take on this, dear readers?
You had similar experiences. Share your comments below. Oh, 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 oh.
You know, I've been looking into some pretty upsetting stuff near Doane University in Crete, and it's really disheartening, you know. Like the area, it's supposed to be this vibrant place where people come to learn and explore, but underneath, there's this layer of deceit that It makes my heart heavy. So there was this massive scam involving farm subsidies. These fraudsters set up fake offices like storefronts, pretending to help farmers get EU funds. But it was all a lie. They pocketed millions, leaving real farmers and locals in a mess. Imagine the shock when people found out that the places they trusted were just facades for greed. And the victims, they probably felt so betrayed, trying to figure out how to recover what they lost, while the scammers, well, I predict they counted their ill-gotten gains, smug for a while, but eventually justice has a way of catching up, right? I mean, they can just keep getting away with it, can they? And then there's this other scam, so sophisticated that it had tourists and even wealthy locals fooled. These con artists used fancy storefronts to promise high returns on fake investments. They showed off fake gold and cash, making everything seem so legit. But when the victims wanted their money back, they were threatened or even experienced staged robberies. It's sick, isn't it? How can someone be so cruel? The victims must have been terrified, feeling helpless, maybe even blaming themselves for trusting the wrong people. And the scammers. They probably thought they were untouchable until the law came knocking, and I bet they were regretting it now. It's like the whole area near Doane University, it's tainted with these stories of betrayal and fraud. You come to Crete expecting beauty and culture, and instead you find yourself in the crosshairs of some elaborate scheme. It's not fair, you know. It's not what anyone deserves, especially when they're just trying to experience something new. I can help but feel for the people who fell prey to these scams. They came seeking knowledge or a brief escape from their everyday lives, and they ended up with emptied wallets and broken trust. It's just so wrong. How could someone take advantage like that? It's like they don't have a conscience. But I have to believe that karma is real and that these scammers will face the consequences of their actions. It's the only thing that gives me a shred of comfort in all of this. So, if you're planning a visit to Doane University in Crete, just be careful, okay? Keep your wits about you. Don't let the beauty of the place blind you to the lurking dangers. And remember, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Let us look out for each other and not let these scammers win. We deserve better than that.
Welcome to our comprehensive guide on the businesses surrounding the quaint Doane University in Crete. As a travel analyst, it's my duty to give you the unvarnished truth about what you can expect when you step off campus and into the local commerce scene. First impressions can be deceiving, and in the case of Crete's business landscape, it's a bit of a mixed bag. There's a certain charm to the area, but scratch beneath the surface, and you'll find a tapestry woven with threads of disappointment and unmet expectations. Let's start with New Beginnings Thrift Store. It's a place where the spirit of thrift should reign supreme, but instead, it seems to be haunted by the ghost of poor customer service. Patrons have walked through its doors in search of a bargain, only to leave with a tale of woe about overpriced, dingy items and a shipping disaster that would make even the most seasoned postal worker weep. It's a pity, really, because the people working there are as warm as a Nebraskan winter is cold. Yet, the thrift store experience here can sometimes feel like you're paying for the privilege of a treasure hunt without the guarantee of treasure. Venturing further, we stumble upon Spa Wellness Crete, a place that promises relaxation, but occasionally delivers a dose of stress instead. The story of one couple's massage mix-up is a cautionary tale. They paid in full only to find themselves entangled in a web of miscommunication and inflexibility. It's a reminder that even in the pursuit of tranquility, one must keep their wits about them. Now, let's talk about the Oven, an establishment that has left many a stomach grumbling in discontent. This Indian restaurant, or so it claims to be, has disappointed palates that were eager for the rich, aromatic flavors of the subcontinent. Instead, they've been served a lackluster imitation, a culinary impostor that has left a bad taste in the mouths of its patrons. The service may be warm, but the food, it seems, has been left out in the cold. The 1206, a venue that boasts beauty but discriminates with its pricing, is another point of contention. It's a place where love is celebrated, but the joy of the occasion is often overshadowed by the hefty price tag that comes with it. And let's not forget the olfactory offense that is the bathroom situation, a detail that must be addressed for the sake of all noses involved. Lastly, we have the 9th Street Bar and Grill, where the food should be the star, but the service often steals the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. The tales of woe range from long waits to rude staff, and from cold, greasy food to a general sense of neglect. It's a place that could be so much more if only it could learn the fine art of hospitality. In this corner of Crete, the businesses seem to dance to a tune of unfulfilled promises.